All right, so I want to talk about this game, The Alters, because even though there is like a fair amount of praise for it, I mean, it did very well on OpenCritic and Metacritic to my knowledge, but it's sort of in the middle of the pack as far as like the conversation goes when you're talking about the best games of the year. You know, Claire Obscure, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Death Stranding 2. You know, that's what's in the conversation, and nobody's really talking about The Alters. And you need to be talking about The Alters. So I just rolled credits on it, and I have to say, it's just the most. It's the most different game that I've played in a really long time. It's unique, and so often that's what I'm looking for these days. I'm just starting to get so bored with the same old crap. I feel like we're settling. And you know, after I played Expedition 33, which immediately became my favorite game of all time, I didn't make a video on it because how could I? Like, what can you say about that video that everybody else hasn't, or that about that video game that that other people have not said? You know. Anyway, that's the best game of the year. And after I played it, I was like, what the hell else am I gonna play? I have no freaking idea what else to play now. I started playing a couple of other things, like I played Atomfall. Just looking through my Steam library here. Let's see. I played Atomfall. I played. Here, look at my Steam library. Yeah, does that show up? Atomfall. I was playing Bioshock Remastered. Dredge, I sort of bounced off of. Elden Ring Night Rain, I played 6 hours. God, I only played 6 hours. I tried playing Fantasy Life. I was playing First Berserker, Kazan right afterwards. And it's like, it's not that these games are bad. They're great. Like, Kazan's a great game. But I'm just bouncing off of it a bit. I probably won't finish it because it's just Dark Souls. Like, a really well executed Dark Souls game. And maybe I'm not a good enough gamer or whatever. But, like, I just can't play the same games over and over again anymore. So The Alters comes on, and this game is like a science fiction, realistic graphics version of like a farming sim with a story that is freaking awesome and really weird in a good way that feels linear, but also like not too long. This game does not overstay its welcome. I don't know how long it took me to beat. I played it on Game Pass for free, as you should. And it just didn't really take me that long to beat. I made one really bad mistake in Act 3 that made me... Okay, it looks like I... One day, so 24 hours to beat The Alters. Like, that's a nice-sized game, and that's with replaying Act 3 in almost its entirety. But what I love about The Alters is that it just feels so new and fresh. So from a gameplay perspective, going out and having that balance of exploration, where you're trying to find new stuff and you're trying to figure out in a very limited time window, like almost in a Persona way. You're like, okay, I only have a certain number of days until the sun rises in The Alters to be able to mine all the resources that I need to mine and get all of my mission objectives accomplished at the same time, so that when we're ready for this act to end, I have enough resources to move my spaceship, or whatever you'd call it, wheel land cruiser, and I would be able to progress the story because I've done all of the missions that I can do, while trying to do some of the side missions, which often revolve around you creating good relationships with your alters, which are the copies of yourself that you have made to do various tasks around the ship. Like you have the scientist version of yourself, etc. Like, I'm not going to do like a whole plot summary breakdown here. I don't think that's super useful for anybody. But basically this guy named Jan gets stuck on a planet that is deserted. It's not super hospitable, lots of radiation. He has to survive and get back to home, And the way to do that, he finds, is that he's got this stuff called Rapidium, and he's able to make clones of himself. So he clones himself into 4 or 5 different versions of himself in the playthrough, where they branch at different versions of his life. Like if he had made a different decision in his life at a certain time, that would create the person that is created, and that person is like a technician, or that person is like a botanist, or that person is a worker, or that person's a refiner of metals. And that's awesome. And then they have special skills based on that. And then you have to like create relationships with them and everything. So there's that relationship side that's like Persona-y, which is pretty good actually. Like it's like every single mechanic in here is like on the lighter, more accessible side, but interesting enough where I didn't feel like I was just breezing through it because it was way too easy, which is how I feel about Death Stranding right now. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And I just go out there and I'm exploring while everything else is going on at the base. I'm managing assignments. Like, oh, he's done with that task. Should I go to assignments? And it's just so much fun to go through it. It's a fantastic character study of Jan. We're always trying to figure out how to make video games be more than just fun and go into art, and it's very hard to do both at the same time. We often see that great gameplay, crappy story, great story, crappy gameplay. It's one of the reasons why Clair Obscur worked so well, is it had the trifecta of great gameplay, great story, super unique packaging of both. The Alters does the same thing. Not as revolutionary and deep and amazing as Clair Obscur. It's a different thing, but it still has the trifecta. Great gameplay, great story, and bringing something unique that I haven't played before. Voice acting's really good by this guy. The story that it tells is really interesting because it sets up he's essentially communicating with these people back on Earth who know what's going on with him, but like he's not sure what their motivations are. Like, are they there to help him, or are they just there to steal his like Rapidium resources that he has? Like, is that the deal? I don't know. And I wasn't sure. I had to make tough decisions along the way, and the game does ask you to there's some branching narrative things that can change the ending of the game, which is so cool. I also love that. I mean, like, there's not like dying in this game really, but I passed out from radiation plenty of times. And you die basically if you run out of time. And Act 3, I did, because I didn't know. Like, I wasn't sure how much time I had left, how much game I had left. So I went and did what I thought was the last thing in the game when I had one day left till the sun went and like cooked and destroyed and murdered us all. And then I did that thing, and I came back, and it was like, okay, meet with your alters in the morning, and I just died before I got there. He was like, you have been destroyed by the sun. So what I decided to do was I decided to just go back and redo Act 3. Because it's so good with saves. Like, it saves back, like, I don't know what it is, 15, 20 saves back, like, of days. And it only saves when you go to sleep. So I just went back to the beginning of Act 3. I replayed it, did everything a little bit faster. I obviously knew already where the deposits were. And I was able to just start mining and get to work on it. And it was actually kind of fun to already be an expert on Act 3 going into it. Because I was able to blow through it like an expert and just crush it, because that is almost what the challenge is. Like, the game is pretty easy to beat, but to master it in a super efficient way is an interesting challenge. Because, you never know what you're going to need, so you're always preparing your resources ahead of time and thinking about the future, about the explorations you'll have to do and the journeys that you'll have to do, while also feeding the mission and feeding your general need to get the hell out of there before the sun comes. It's just, in my mind, underrated, should be in the Game of the Year conversation. It's not the Game of the Year. Clair Obscur is the Game of the Year. It's not even close. Death Stranding 2 is, in large part, a disappointment. I'm going to try to put together a video together on that soon. But, I'm only, I don't know, a quarter of the way through Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, so I can't really comment on that so far. Seems good so far, but this game takes time to get into, I know. So yeah, it's no Clair Obscur. It's not Game of the Year, but we need to make sure that it's nominated, because unique takes on games like this are clutch. And this is something this developer has done before with Frostpunk, is they put a spin on RTS survival games, and that's what you get. You get something really unique that got a sequel. The Alters should get a sequel too. It's that good. I don't know that it would work super well as a sequel, but maybe they could do some sort of parallel universe thing or parallel worlds, or maybe Jan goes up into space again and with his altar. I don't know. Who knows? That's not. I mean, I don't get paid to come up with ideas like that. But anyway, it's super interesting. So check this one out if you haven't. And it's awesome. And yeah, I'll see ya.